Don't move. The gun wasn't pointed at her. It was pointed past her, at the man stepping out of the black car behind her. Chiamaka Nnamdi froze anyway, groceries slipping from her arms, plantain rolling across the wet Seoul pavement. Stand down, a voice said. Low, controlled, final. The man with the gun lowered it instantly. Chiamaka's brother, Choi Do-yun, stepped between her and the stranger, his jaw tight. She's my sister. She's not part of this. The stranger studied her for a long second. Dark suit. No expression. Eyes that gave away nothing. Everyone connected to you is part of this, Jide. That was the first time Chiamaka Nnamdi saw Choi Do-yun. She didn't know his name yet. She didn't know he owned half the block they were standing on, or that the man who'd nearly shot her worked for him, or that her brother, her sweet, overprotective brother who'd always told her he was, in private security, spent his nights guarding a man whose enemies didn't knock before they came. All she knew was that his eyes lingered on her 1 second too long before he turned and walked away. If you're new here, welcome to Afro-Korean Vibes, where two worlds always collide and love finds a way to survive even the most dangerous secrets. Stay till the end, because this one gets complicated fast, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you love stories like this. 3 weeks later, Chiamaka had a job, private chef, hired through an agency, no questions asked, triple the normal pay. She needed it. Nursing school in Lagos wasn't going to pay for itself. The house was enormous, guarded, silent. She didn't ask why. Jide had gotten her the interview and told her, eyes down, just cook. Don't ask questions. Don't get close to anyone in that house. She should have listened. You're the new chef. Do-yun's voice again, behind her in the kitchen, sleeves rolled up, tie loosened like a man who'd just come from somewhere he didn't want to talk about. And you're the man who almost had me shot, Chiamaka said, not turning around. A pause. Then, almost, a laugh. That wasn't going to happen. Tell that to the plantain. He actually smiled at that. It changed his whole face, softened something she hadn't expected was there. I'll replace the plantain. You'll replace my trust first. He didn't have an answer for that. He just watched her stir the pot like she wasn't afraid of him, like she didn't know she should be. She didn't know. That was the problem. Weeks passed in stolen conversations, him lingering in doorways he didn't need to linger in, her pretending she didn't notice. He asked about Lagos. She asked about nothing, because Jide's warning sat in her chest like a stone. Don't get close. But closeness had already happened, in the small ways. The way he remembered she hated cilantro, the way she'd started leaving an extra plate out in case. Then, one night, she heard the shouting. She wasn't supposed to be on that floor. She'd gone looking for Jide, worried, because he hadn't answered his phone in 2 days. What she found instead was Do-yun standing over a man on his knees, 4 other men in suits behind him, and on the wall, a framed photo she recognized. Jide. Standing beside Do-yun in a formal portrait, both of them younger, both of them armed. Boss, one of the men said, and Do-yun's head turned, and he saw her standing in the doorway. The room went silent. The man on his knees looked up at her with something like pity. Chiamaka, Do-yun started. You're not private security, she said, backing away. You're not a businessman. I'm the reason your brother has a job that keeps this family fed, Do-yun said, voice low, and I'm the reason no one has ever touched you. That's what I am to you. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have tonight. She ran. Not because she was afraid of him. She realized later, lying awake, that this was the terrifying part. She wasn't. She ran because some part of her had already started falling for a man whose whole life was built on a foundation she couldn't survive standing on. If this hits different, comment "run" if you think she should walk away, or stay if you think love is worth the danger. Choi Do-yun was waiting for her outside her apartment when she got home, still shaking, still holding her coat closed like it could protect her from what she'd seen. He didn't ask how much she knew. He could see it on her face. How long? She asked. Since I was 19. His voice cracked on the number. You were still in secondary school. I told Mama I was working security for a shipping company. I told you the same lie so many times I almost believed it myself. You work for a crime boss, Jide. I work for Choi Do-yun. He said the name like it meant something different to him than it did to her. He pulled me out of a situation that would have gotten me killed in my first year here. He didn't have to. He did anyway. Everything I have, this apartment, your school fees, the money that got Mama's surgery paid for, it came from him. Chiamaka sat down slowly, the weight of 8 years of lies settling into her chest. You let me cook in his house. You let me get close to him. I told you not to get close. Jide's eyes were red now. I told you and you didn't listen, and now? Now what? Now he's not going to let you just walk away. Men like him don't have people who know that much and just leave. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer it. Chiamaka. Do-yun's voice, quieter than she'd ever heard it. I need you to come back to the house. Not because you're in danger from me. Because you're in danger from what you saw, and I am the only one who can make sure nothing happens to you because of it. You're threatening me. I'm protecting you. There's a difference, even if right now you can't tell. She looked at her brother, the boy who used to walk her to school, who'd built an entire second life just to keep her safe from it, and she understood, sick to her stomach, that he'd been protecting her from this exact night for 8 years. And it hadn't been enough. I'll come, she said into the phone. But you're going to tell me everything. All of it. No more half-truths. A long pause. Everything, Do-yun agreed. You've earned that much. When she arrived, the house was different. Fewer men, most sent away, only Do-yun in the study with 2 glasses of untouched wine and the kind of exhaustion in his shoulders she'd never seen on him before. My father built this, he said, before she could ask anything. I didn't choose it. I inherited it at 23, the same week I buried him. Everyone I love becomes a target the moment someone finds out they matter to me. That's why I don't let anyone matter. Then why did you let me? He looked at her like the question cost him something. Because for the first time in a long time, you looked at me like a man cooking dinner deserved to be forgiven for existing. I didn't want to give that up. Something in her resolve cracked. That man on his knees tonight. Stole from a shipment that funds 3 legitimate businesses and 40 employees' salaries. This is not the world you think it is from movies. It's uglier in some ways. Cleaner in others. And Jide. Your brother is the most loyal man I have ever met. He has never once asked me for anything for himself. Everything he's taken from me, he's taken for you. Do-yun's voice dropped. I know what that kind of love looks like now. I recognize it because I think I feel it too. The room went very still. Don't, Chiamaka whispered, though she didn't move away. Don't what? Don't say something you can't take back. I'm not taking it back. He stepped closer. Chiamaka, I know exactly what it costs to care about someone in my world. I watched it cost my father everything. I told myself I'd never let it happen to me. And then a woman with grocery bags stood in the street and wasn't afraid of a gun pointed at her brother, and I have not been able to think straight since. She should have walked away that night. She almost did, got as far as the front gate, hand on the cold iron, before Jide's voice stopped her. Chiamaka, wait. He caught up to her, breathless. There's something else you need to know before you decide anything. There's more. The man on his knees tonight, the one who stole from the shipment, he didn't steal money. Jide lowered his voice even though they were alone. He stole a ledger. Names, numbers, everyone Do-yun's father did business with for 20 years. If that ledger gets to the wrong people, it's not just Do-yun who's in danger. It's everyone whose name is in it, including mine. Why would he tell me that? He didn't. I'm telling you because you need to understand what you're walking into isn't just romance, Chiamaka. That ledger is still missing. Whoever has it now knows exactly who to come for. And you've been seen in that house every day for a month. The words hit harder than she expected. She turned back toward the house, toward the man standing in the doorway watching her with an expression he clearly hadn't meant to let her see, something unguarded, something afraid. Say it, she told him, walking back. All of it. If I'm already a target because of what I know, I deserve the whole truth, not the version that keeps me calm. Do-yun's jaw tightened, like a man choosing between two kinds of loss. The ledger has my father's handwriting in it. Deals he made that I've spent 5 years trying to bury, some of them with men who would kill to make sure the world never learns their names were in it. If it surfaces, it doesn't just expose me. It exposes everyone who trusted my family's silence. Jide's name is in there twice, as a witness. Yours isn't. Not yet. I intend to keep it that way. How? By finding it before anyone else does. And by making sure nobody connects you to this house at all, starting tonight. You're going to send me away. I'm going to send you somewhere safe, yes. That's not a decision you get to make for me. Her voice shook, but it didn't break. I watched my brother disappear into your world for 8 years to protect me. I'm not disappearing out of it just because it's convenient for you. Something shifted in Do-yun's face, surprise, maybe, or recognition. You're not afraid of me. I'm terrified, she admitted. Of what you are. Of what almost happened to my brother. Of what's happening to me right now, standing in this room, when I should be running the other way. She stepped closer, close enough to see the exhaustion under his composure. But I'm not leaving because you told me to. He didn't move for a long moment. Then, quietly, there's a man coming tomorrow. Kwon Tae-sik. He claims he has the ledger and wants to negotiate its return personally, to me, in this house. If I'm right about who he answers to, this isn't a negotiation. It's an execution wearing a negotiation's clothes. Then don't go alone. I have to. You don't. Jide stepped forward, something resolute settling over him. Boss, let me stand with you tomorrow. Like the first year. Do-yun looked at the man who'd given him 8 years of unquestioning loyalty, then at the woman who'd given him something he didn't have a name for yet. If either of you are in that room tomorrow and something goes wrong, then we go wrong together, Chiamaka said. That's what family does. Whatever kind of family this has turned into. Outside, headlights swept across the gate. A car none of them recognized, idling just past the wall. Too early for Kwon Tae-sik to be arriving a full day ahead of schedule, unless he'd never intended to wait for the meeting at all. The car didn't move. Didn't turn off its lights. Just sat there, engine idling, 30 feet from the gate, like a held breath. Get her inside, Do-yun said, voice dropping into a register Chiamaka hadn't heard before. Flat, immediate, a man switching into something he'd clearly trained for. 2 of his men were already moving, one toward the gate, one pulling Chiamaka back by the arm. I'm not hiding while you. You're not hiding. You're surviving. There's a difference, and tonight I need you to trust me on which one this is. His eyes found hers for 1 second, softer than the moment allowed. Please. She went. Not because she was obedient, because Jide's hand was already on her shoulder, steering her toward the house, his own face carved from the same fear he used to hide from her for 8 years. From the study window, she watched the car door open. A man stepped out alone, hands visible, unhurried. Older than she expected. Kwon Tae-sik, she assumed, though nothing about him matched the image she'd built in her head. No scar, no menace, just a tired-looking man in a gray coat who looked like he hadn't slept in days. "You're early," Do-yun said, meeting him halfway across the courtyard, close enough that Chiamaka could hear through the cracked window. "I'm not here for the meeting." Kwon's voice was quiet, almost apologetic. "I'm here because the meeting was never real. Whoever told you I had the ledger wanted you exactly where you're standing right now, outside, exposed, thinking you had a full day to prepare." Do-yun went very still. "Who?" "Your father's old partner. The one everyone agreed to stop saying out loud." Kwon's eyes flicked briefly past Do-yun, toward the house, toward the window where Chiamaka stood frozen. "He knows about the girl. He's known for 3 weeks. He was always going to use tonight, one way or another. I came to warn you, not to trade with you. Whatever's about to happen, it isn't coming from that road." He nodded, almost imperceptibly, toward the side gate, the servants' entrance. The one with a single guard. The one Chiamaka had walked through every morning for a month, arms full of groceries. Do-yun's head turned toward the house so fast Chiamaka barely registered the shout before Jide was already moving, already running for that gate, already too far ahead for anyone to stop him. The gunshot came 4 seconds later. Chiamaka didn't remember crossing the courtyard. She only remembered Jide on the ground, hand pressed to his side, blood dark against his shirt, and the man standing over him, young, unfamiliar, already turning his weapon toward her before Do-yun's men brought him down. "Jide," she dropped to her knees beside her brother, hands shaking too hard to be useful, pressing down anyway because some instinct older than fear told her to. Jide's breath caught. "I'm okay. I'm okay, Chi." "You're not okay, you're bleeding, stay with me." Do-yun was there suddenly, tearing his own jacket off, pressing it hard against the wound, barking orders in Korean that sent 2 men sprinting for a car. "Stay with her," he told Jide, voice cracking for the first time since she'd known him. "That's an order. Stay with your sister." Jide's hand found Chiamaka's, gripping it with whatever strength he had left. "Told you," he managed, a ghost of his old teasing smile breaking through the pain. "Told you not to fall for the boss." "Shut up," she sobbed. "Shut up and stay awake." Do-yun looked up at her across her brother's bleeding body, something raw and unguarded finally breaking all the way through. "This is what I tried to warn you about. This is what loving me costs the people around me." "Then you'd better make sure it wasn't for nothing," Chiamaka said, voice shaking but steady underneath. "Get us to a hospital." The hospital corridor smelled like antiseptic and fear. Chiamaka sat with Jide's blood still drying on her hands, refusing every offer of a change of clothes, refusing to move from the chair outside the operating room until someone told her something true. Do-yun paced. He didn't sit. He hadn't sat once in 3 hours. "You don't have to stay," she said finally, not looking at him. "I'm not leaving." His voice was rough, stripped of the composure she'd first met him with. "He got shot at my gate, protecting a warning meant for me. I'm not leaving that hallway until I know he's alive. Because it's your fault. Because he's mine to protect. The way you're mine to protect, even though I've clearly done a terrible job of it tonight." He finally sat, 2 chairs away, close enough that she felt the weight of everything unsaid between them. "I should have told you the truth the day you took that job. I should have sent you home to Lagos the moment I realized what I felt for you." Would that have kept Jide out of that courtyard? He didn't answer. They both already knew it wouldn't have. A doctor emerged at 4 a.m., mask pulled down, exhaustion in every line of her face. The bullet missed anything vital by less than a centimeter. "He's stable. He's going to need time, but he's going to recover." Chiamaka's knees nearly gave out with relief. Do-yun caught her elbow, steadying her without thinking, and for a moment neither of them moved away from the contact. "Thank you," she whispered, to the doctor, to whatever mercy had kept her brother alive, to the man beside her who'd bled through his own jacket to try. 3 days later, Jide was awake, weak but sharp-tongued as ever, needling his sister about the dark circles under her eyes and the way Do-yun hadn't left the hospital wing except to shower. "You could just say it," Jide told her when Do-yun stepped out to take a call. "That you love him." "I could get you killed for saying it," she shot back, but there was no heat in it anymore. "I already got shot for it. Might as well make it worth something." When Do-yun returned, his face was different, decided, in a way she hadn't seen since the night at the gate. "The man behind tonight has been identified. My father's old partner. It will take time, but it will be handled, cleanly, and far from either of you." "And after it's handled?" Chiamaka asked. "After," Do-yun said, taking her hand for the first time without asking permission, "I'm done pretending this began as anything less than what it actually is. I love you, Chiamaka. I loved you before I understood what it would cost, and I love you now that I do. If you'll let me, I want to spend whatever comes next proving that loving you doesn't have to mean losing everyone around you." Jide, still bandaged, still grinning from his hospital bed, muttered, "Finally," under his breath. Chiamaka looked at the man who'd appended her entire life in the space of one grocery bag of plantain, and, for the first time since that first night, she let herself stop bracing for the danger and simply feel the relief of being chosen, deliberately, by someone who finally had nothing left to hide. "Then don't just say it," she told him. "Show me. Every day, starting now." He did. If this story had you holding your breath till the end, comment Afro-Korean vibes forever, and tell us which part hit hardest, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.